Alright. Fingers crossed the audio is a little bit better. Testing, testing, testing. It's the best I can do. It didn't seem too bad on the playback on the first one. Anyways, we are right back in where we left off in What Remains of Edith Finch. This is the pause menu, which is pretty tragic once you actually look at what you're seeing. Looks like a family tree, considering it's a tree with family members around it, it looks like. And you'll notice all of the main members on the branches are dead, except for Edith. And it looks like this is part of her journal, so a couple leaves off to the side which look like, you know, married into, like Sven and who we've already seen, Kay, Sanjay, and Ingeborg. If I'm saying that right. So, let's get back into it. Left off in Walter's room, which is really cool.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
This is the key. The mystery of the key has been solved.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Let's do it. Push those letters out of the way.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Poor Milton. I don't know where he ran off to.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
So, looks like we're definitely playing as Edith here.
But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had
got a
no
lot of
idea where all
connections.
this was gonna lead. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Molly's room. 10-year-old Molly. So she would have... I forget. Let me see here. Molly was Edie's daughter. Okay. So it would have been Edith's great aunt. That's right. Is that right?
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Mario style. It is a pretty dope castle.
Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Don't know if I saw that the first time. Whoa. Oh. Is that a toilet paper roll? I thought that was a dead gerbil first. Still some turds in there, or food. Is it a food bowl or a turd bowl? I don't know why the turd bowl would be the centerpiece. That does not look like appetizing food either. Hello? Well, let's crack this journal open and see what Molly has to say. She's got a lot of interests in here.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
What'd I say about that bad parenting? There's gotta be something in here I can snack on.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Well, yeah, it's December. Doesn't last more than a week. Can I get out?
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
I'm freaking hungry, Mom! I also did not try the door the first time I played this, so... That's 3, you know, things I've missed so far from the first time I played.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
What? So that is a food / turd bowl, maybe? She just ate that old nasty carrot like it was nothing. How? Mom! Have you never fed me at all? Goodness. Oh no. I'm staying away from that fish. Starfish? Thank God. Oh, don't make me.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Don't eat Christopher? What 10-year-old thinks like this? Or am I just starved out of my mind? No. That ain't food, Molly. Molly.
I kept eating and eating.
Oh. Molly. Throw this up right now. You're gonna kill you. Those aren't real.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Look, you're already getting skin cancer from it. Just kidding. Those are moles or freckles. Those are okay. Not shaming those that have.
Then I heard
freckles on their
chirping
hands.
outside my window.
And I thought I'd eat the bird.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
Maybe I should go back to my nest before we have to call poison control.
I reached out for her. And suddenly,
I
I was a
was
cat.
tripping balls on account of the poison I just ingested. Old carrot and toothpaste and plastic holly berries? I don't know what those
I
were.
tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
And I was really stoned. Come on. Just believe I'm eating this bird when I get to it.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Hey, Ma. Look what happens when you don't feed me. I'm out of my mind right now. Are they alive? What are they doing? Oh, this is not great. Where am I headed? I also don't think I took this route the first time. There's a couple ways to go. Come on. Oh, you were mine.
I jumped and I almost got her.
So, what bird doesn't just fly away a little bit? She's leading me right back to her nest. Did not seem smart.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Eat these pigs! What is that?
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore.
You've
All I cared
climbed
about
this
was eating
before
that
as a
lumber.
10-year-old? Oh my god, these are the worst. Edie's bad parent. Bad parent for sure.
I gobbled her up. And
Got her.
suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
How'd you make that out? Nibbling, nibbling, nibbling. Where's the nibbling? Come on, oh, I hear the nibbling. Nibbling to my left.
Rabbits.
Rabbits. Oh, you're mine. You're mine, rabbit. Don't eat the whole rabbit.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up,
Molly.
and I didn't chew one bit.
Yep.
Then
Didn't
I
chew that
flew off to find
toothpaste
something
either,
to
did
eat.
you? Oh, Molly. What's bigger than a rabbit? Oh. I hear it.
A mama rabbit.
Of course. Yep. Let's just kill a mama rabbit now while we're at it.
She was almost too big.
Hey,
to
new
kill.
trophy. How's that possible?
I started choking, but I
what
couldn't
that's for.
stop eating.
Oh no. Molly. Settle down, Molly.
Suddenly, I was a shark.
Sharks don't thrive in this environment. Okay. Alright. This feels like an old addictinggames.com game. Is that even still around? Oh, there's a water. Nope, that's a road. That's
I
not
rolled
water.
off a cliff
Oh
and
boy.
into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Oh, okay. Oh. Why do I feel like this should be inverted? Inverted. Oh, there we go. Come on.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
God, Molly, how hungry are you?
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Are you still choking? Oh, man. Eat some of the seaweed. Oh, he juked me out hard. Come on.
I grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Oh, Molly. Molly, what big tentacles you have. The sound is definitely what I want to hear. It's great.
Now I was a
Kinda
monster,
slimy.
and I smelled people everywhere.
Yep. People do kind of smell.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Excuse me, sir. Can you point me to the nearest poison control center? Sir? Oh. I'll ask the next guy. Thank you. Turn
I
my
wanted
mic up
to
a
stop,
little bit.
but also I didn't.
Game audio sounds a little loud. Definitely want you to hear the game though. So this might be okay. I will just enunciate my words. Just like how this guy's enunciating all of his words. You know, I don't want to kill this person. I'm gonna try to avoid it. He shall live on to tell the tale of Molly the monster.
After the last passenger, I was sick,
Hey, he lived on.
and across the water I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Good parents. Swim towards the good parents.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Oh no. This looks like a Northwest Island where there might be orcas. Perhaps like an orca's island of some kind. Do 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 do. Oh boy. That's a turlet. Is that their plumbing situation? Just straight
I
out
got
onto
closer
the
and closer.
ocean? Oh, Molly. Girl, you about to eat yourself. Oh, boy.
All of my stomach started growling.
No, let's go attack your parents instead.
And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer.
Please
It
stop
needs to
whispering.
be, and we both know I will be delicious.
Molly.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
You should. You sent her to bed without dinner. That's what happens. Hello? Is that Molly the cat? Molly, you came back. Any falling damage? Nope. Makes
This will
sense.
be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma Edie's room.
Is that a snake in a bird cage?
Louis died a week before we left, but
Mm.
Edie had already started to memorialize him.
I love this idea of painting on cross sections of trees. I'm sure that's something that people do
Edie
in real
knit me a
life,
new
but I
pair
never.
of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
Wow, how did I missed that too the first time around? It must be the portrait she was talking about.
Her room was like a museum.
Joining the great majority. Mysteries of death. Wow, a lot of books in this house. Good for them.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their
there's
newborn
Ingeborg.
son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house,
You know, no
hoping
big
to
thing.
leave the curse behind.
Dragging my house behind my tugboat.
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea.
Dang.
Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven
Oh,
and
there
baby
you go.
Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Why do you start a... it sucks that that's the first thing they build is a family cemetery.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Well, you don't have any house right now, so...
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Jr. Lake Trip. That's a classic. Built 1937. Sven Finch.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Right up front. Okay, how did I miss that the first time? Man. Also interesting that Sven took the Finch family name rather than Edie taking his name. Maybe all this misfortune wouldn't have followed them. Very progressive of you, Sven.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Come on, Dawn. Hug your daughter. What you doing? Oh. Here we are. Weirdest bathroom ever made. Man, I do not. It's all I can say is like, I hope I'm lucky enough to keep my mobility for as long as possible. It's a very functional mirror. A lot of pills.
The only
too.
trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
No kidding. Grandpa Sam, okay. Why would you keep that picture around? I don't like the title of that book.
There's a secret in this bathroom.
This could be weird.
It's in the last place you would look.
Naturally.
It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Finn was a madman, I think, building all this stuff.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Grandpa Sam. Looks like he's a hunter? Oh, that's his brother, right? Calvin? Lived in the same room with him for 7 years after he died. Couple turns land into a native haven. Murder probe clues exhausted. Milton's been here again. Audio definitely seems better this time around. Hoping it stays that way. At least from what I can hear. Man, this is a cool room. Both of these. I love the split right down the middle. Looks like Sam joined the army. Samuel Finch. Or Marines, I'm sorry. like there should be something here. Fort Sam? Fort Calvin.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
1961. Oh, I didn't notice this either the first time. Man, that's sad. The height charts. Man. So much detail in this game. It's cool that they had such different interests too.
I guess my
God, I
grandpa
wanna
didn't
build
like
this.
history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
I love this kid's voice for some reason.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Sam, where you going?
I told him
Bring me
going
with
around
you.
was impossible.
Don't you hear these creaks, Calvin?
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
No, you gotta have some more urgency than this. Look at what I'm
And
doing!
maybe he'd
You
still
should be
here,
running out here.
but I doubt it. I think he'd
Man.
already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
See, that's where you realize this is a bad idea, man.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Man, that one... that killed me the first time when I've played it. It was a lot more drawn out because I couldn't figure out the controls because I was stupid. I was going back and forth with the left stick.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Which only did his left leg, so I was going like diagonal and not getting full speed. Took me like 2 minutes to realize I had to use the right
Mom
stick
said
too.
Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Who does that?
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Hey, little shortcut. Oh, looks like we're going to Barb's room. Man, you crazy. You crazy for this one, Milton.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Excuse me. Oh boy. Let me do a quick time check. That looks quite old. See where we're at. Might cut out the audio real quick. Okay, we're right at 30. I'm gonna cut it here. We'll hop right back into Barbara's story next time we get on. Again, hope this is fun. I'm loving it even more the second time, and I know we've got some exciting stuff coming down the pipeline. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.